Welcome back to Breslov, Pirkey, Avot. Today we're going to look at chapter 1, Mishnah 5. Let's do it. B'Shem Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach. Yossi ben Yochanan ish Yerushalayim omer, Yeh betecha patuach lirvacha, v'yu ani'im b'nei betecha, v'al tarbe sicha im ha'isha. Ve'ishto amru, kal v'chomer be'eshet chavero. Mikan amru chachamim, kol zman she'adam marbe sicha im ha'isha, גורם רעה לעצמו, ובוטל מדברי תורה, וסופו יורש גיהינום. Yossi ben Yochanan of Yerushalayim said, "Let your home be open wide, and let the poor become members of your household. But do not engage in excessive small talk with women. If this is said about one's own wife, how much more so of another man's wife? Therefore, our sages declared, whoever engages in excessive small talk with a woman brings evil upon himself, neglects the study of Torah, and in the end will inherit Gehenna." Well, I think here in women, here it says another man's wife. So I want to take it to a married man specifically here, speaking to another married man's wife. To be kind of understanding of the words, we'll maybe get into a little bit more about that and the talking. Let your home be open wide. When Rabbi Nachman was a small boy, he gathered the practical advice he had derived from his Torah studies and organized it alphabetically by topic. In early adulthood, he added to this material. Eventually, he dictated selections to Reb Nassan, who compiled Sefer Hamidot, also known as the Aleph Bet book. Following are a few of Rabbi Nachman's maxims on the topic of hospitality, Achnasat Orchim. Hospitality brings a woman to be blessed with children. Receiving guests is comparable to receiving Shabbat. When a person welcomes a Torah scholar into his home, it is as if he has brought the daily sacrificial offerings. Hospitality earns a person the respect of others. It's a lot of really, really beautiful, powerful things talking about opening your home. I mean, it's like bringing a sacrifice. I guess what it means is that when you're open to the poor, to other people, and you're willing to give them your space, your home, it's like you're partnering with God to take care of his children. And what's better sacrifice, what's going to bring more pleasure to our Creator than us taking care of and looking out for one another, than us taking the blessings that he may have granted us and sharing them with other people. We can understand how that's going to bring blessing, how that's going to bring children. I mean, if we can open our home to people, we can definitely open our hearts and our home to our children. Let's move right along. It says, let the poor become members of your household, but do not engage in excessive small talk with a woman. Rabbi Nachman. In the times of the Holy Temple, contact with the dead was the primary source of ritual impurity, whereas today, unclean thoughts are the primary source of impurity. Such thoughts are associated with death because they have no essential reality or substance. Wow, that's kind of cool. The verse states, charity saves from death. Charity saves from unwanted thoughts as well. Since discussions with the opposite sex can lead to these thoughts, the Mishnah offers a solution to this problem. Let the poor become members of your household. This is a high level of charity. As such, it will protect from improper thoughts and fantasies, which might result even from those discussions with the opposite sex in which it is necessary to engage. This is why the Mishnah connects the two subjects. So here, it's talking about something really important, which is when you engage in something that is a potential to lead to something negative, right? Like here, in an small talk conversation with a member of the opposite sex. I mean, we're being serious. We are members of the opposite sex. So genetically, physically, there is a potential for some sort of physical or chemical attraction. Now, when that happens, what happens is that our minds race. And we start to create different images, even if nothing ever happens. Even if it never goes past that hello. Those thoughts impurify the purity of my thoughts, the purity of my actions. So it's saying, be careful. No, it's more of a thing of like, why put yourself into a position that you may eventually be impurified by? And if things are valuable to you, and if your home is valuable to you, then protect it. Stay away from those things. It's like, look, hey, this is poison. Hey, do me a favor, put that in a triple sealed box and get it out of my house. When things are blatantly poisonous, we have no problem staying away from them and like putting up all these guards. But when they might be poisonous, when they might be dangerous, I mean, how many stories have we heard that, yeah, well, no, it just started as just like a simple hello, but I don't know, it just somehow led to something. When you value something, you really protect it. When you have a diamond, you don't leave it thrown on the counter. You put it in a safe, you make sure it's in a bag, you make sure that you only take it out in certain times, you don't really let everybody see where you hide it. That's how you protect things that are valuable. And what could be more valuable than us, than our purity? Our purity is our alignment with the divine, with the holy, with everything. Continuing in the digest of commentaries. Let your home be open wide. This means that you should welcome those who are hungry and thirsty, offering them rest for their bodies and comfort for their souls. Oftentimes they refer to as like people are thirsty for Torah or hungry for Torah. Opening up your home to the poor doesn't only mean those that don't have money. If you have knowledge and people want your knowledge, then open up your home to those that are poor of said knowledge and share it to them. If you have love and people need love, then open up your home to give that love. Anywhere that somebody is lacking in that particular thing, they're considered poor. And if you have said thing that they're lacking, when you open up your home, your heart, your mind, your phone call, then what you're doing is you're opening up your home to the poor and you're giving them something that they need. And that is what brings us and elevates us and keeps us pure, because that perfect channel of like giving and balancing, and oh man, I got this, so let me give it to you, and hey, you got that, how about you give it to... It creates this beautiful divine flow of energy. And let the poor become members of your household. This means that you should receive them graciously and pleasantly, so they will feel like members of your family. I've been to homes where you walk in and you really feel like you're not comfortable. You can't sit right. You're scared to even go to the bathroom. Is it okay if I use your bathroom? And then there's other homes that like from the second you walk in, you just feel so at home. You're like, hey, and you're totally relaxed. And it has nothing to do with the value of the home. It always has to do with just the host. How are you being received? Are you being received and making like and feeling like, oh my God, I shouldn't really be here, and you kind of feel like you're a poor person asking for a donation? Or when you're being received, are you feeling like, oh my God, they really want me here? So what it's talking about is it doesn't matter who they are, make them feel at home. But do not engage in excessive small talk with women, lest through overfamiliarity you will fall into sin. Excessive small talk does not refer to normal conversation about family matters and the like, which does not engender anything bad. Rather, our sages warn against gossip and idle conversation, which, in addition to causing neglect of the mitzvah of Torah study, often leads to actual harm. This is a very important distinction. It's not like, you invite people into your home and there's like a couple and say, hey, to the husband, how are you? And you walk away from the woman. It's not saying be rude. Say, hi, how are you? How's the family? But getting more intimate, getting into those conversations that's not just the general conversations, that's what the sages are warning against. It's saying, don't take your conversations or your interactions with people to something more intimate than just the daily conversations, because maybe right now it's nothing. Maybe right now it's not leading to anything. But who wants to open that door? I'll share with you something that for me in the beginning was very difficult. A few years ago, when I started coaching and speaking with people and being somebody that would help, people would come speak with me and I would share my ears and my life knowledge with them. And at first it was very random, people would show up, they'd sit, they'd go, they'd show up, they'd sit, they'd go. But then it kind of started getting more structured. And my wife, the most treasured and precious thing in my life, she said, Ellie, I love the fact that you found your calling and that you're helping people. I think it's amazing. I don't want you to coach women. But why? Women need me as much as men do. I don't want you to coach women. And I struggled, but then I said, you know what? If that's what you want, then I'm going to respect that. And I didn't. And I don't. And when we do, and I say we, coach, help, or guide women, Miriam, my wife, is always around. It's not that she doesn't trust me, and it's not that she doesn't trust the person. It's that there is a danger of becoming too intimate with something that you can, well, that it's just harmful to be intimate with. So again, it's not saying to shun the member of the opposite sex. It's not saying to be rude. It's not saying to put a wall. It's not saying to not even say hello. It's saying be kind, but don't take it farther than just that normal meeting, and then you will protect that biggest treasure that you have, well, in your life. And if it isn't the biggest treasure that you have in your life, probably by protecting it in this way, that's what will make it the treasure. Just like a diamond is a treasure because you really value it, you keep it, you protect it. So too with your home. When you value it, you keep it, you protect it. Then you don't let any potential poison come into your home. Let's go and continue now where it says, welcome guests. A certain Breslover Chassid had limited resources, so his family ate sparingly. Whenever guests would arrive at his house, though, he would lay out a sumptuous meal in their honor. His children always looked forward to the times when guests would visit. Here we see a little bit about how much you're supposed to go out of your way to make a guest feel at home. Even if normally you eat a very humble, meager meal, when you invite somebody, saying, make them feel like kings. A little goes a long way. Once, when Rabbi Nachman spoke of the greatness of the mitzvah of hospitality, his daughter, Sarah, became concerned. How can one ever fulfill this mitzvah properly? She asked. The Rebbe replied, what do you think? Just add a little bit more of tablecloth. Add another bukele, a roll. The Rebbe's intention was that you don't have to go overboard. Just do what you can to honor your guests. It means, even if it's a tiny little detail, even if you normally use a blue tablecloth, but you have a special light pink one, then use that special light pink one. If normally you're only going to put out one little loaf of bread, and you can, then put out two. It doesn't mean go above and beyond your means to impress the Joneses. It just means make some little detail a little bit special, a little bit more. And that's a beautiful thing. We're in this world where more and super double and like as big as I can get, and we get lost at the tiny little details, and that the little bits are what counts. And let's focus on those little bits that they truly show the one thing that the price tag doesn't show always, or doesn't always show. It shows thought. It shows desire to actually do something little just to show you that you're special. Not to try to buy you or impress you with as big as you can, but just something little to give you that warm little fuzzy feeling. So Bezrat Hashem, where we have the merit to protect those things that are important to us, to understand that borders are only there to protect that which is most important and most worth protecting. And protection also doesn't mean extremes. So find that balance where you can open your home, but still keep yourself and your family safe. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen.